So I was doing a live stream on TikTok and YouTube last week. Since then, I've uploaded some of the clips from the YouTube live stream and put them onto TikTok. During one of the clips, someone was asking me, like, why do women think that getting a council house is a flex? I'm saying that it's got nothing to do with gender. It's more to do with people's class. You see, women who are considered middle class, women who are considered to be highly educated and have good jobs like bankers, lawyers, stockbrokers, and doctors, they don't give a damn about no council house. Yeah? Middle class people, upper class people do not care about council houses. Only working class people have a problem with these alleged foreigners coming over and stealing the council houses. So this person here, I was going to say, has left this question, let alone rhetorical question, more like a statement to me. They're allegedly asking, did you grow up in a council house? For me, that's more of a statement, but we'll just take it at face value. They're asking a question. So, yeah, I grew up in a council house because obviously if you've not been watching me long enough, you'll know, say that man has 4 properties. I own this one and I've got 3 flats. So yeah, I grew up in a council house. I'm from Edmonton, born and bred, literally born in North Middlesex Hospital. Used to live in some tower blocks in Edmonton. They knocked them down and relocated us. I grew up in a council house. I now have my own house and 3 other properties. But I promise you, I will never forget where I come from. You see, there's certain people, they will get money and move out at the ends and then look down on the ends, look down on where they come from. I go back to Edmonton every other weekend. I love to go back to Edmonton. I don't like doing the drive. Don't get it twisted. I don't want to be doing no mad 70 mile journeys and that. But I love being in Edmonton. There's certain people, they will go back to their area or pass through and think, oh, this place is a shithole. This place is a dump. They'll look down on their area. I don't look down on my area. I might look down on the people them slyly in Edmonton sometimes. Because I think, like, why have you not like the people them who man might have grown up with, why have you not leveled up, got your P's up and moved out? Because no rich millionaire in the history of the world still lives on the ends that they grew up in. Yeah, so a man who's come from rags, yeah, made some money and that, he does not live on the end. Nobody, no rapper, no businessman, no entrepreneur still lives in the area they fucking grew up in if their area that they grew up in was the hood, was the slums. You see Alan Sugar, my man lives in Loughton, he's from Hackney blood. Yeah, that guy that owns the business, Pimlico Plumbers and that, I promise you, he don't live in Pimlico. Yeah. So when you get your P's up, you're supposed to naturally just move out of the area that you grew up in. I mean, that's just the natural progression of human beings, really and truly. You move out of the area that you grew up in and that. Most people do not still live in the area they were born and bred in and that. So sometimes I think to myself, like, oh, why are you lot still in the ends? Like, I'll go back to them and I still see the same face. I know they're not just there on a little weekend away from wherever they live and they're just roaming their ends and that, whatever. Nah, these lot still live in Edmonton and that. Yeah, I might look down on those people, but man will never look down on the area that I come from. Yeah, that's my pride and joy. I will always be an Edmonton man. And I see a couple people like, couple comments and say, oh, why man still speak like that? Rare blood. Just because I got money, just because I moved out at the ends, I'm not going to start changing the way I speak. What the fuck for? Who am I trying to fit in with? Yeah? I ain't got nothing to prove. I don't need to talk a certain blood. I'm still the same guy that is from the ends, blood, that grew up in a council. I'm not going to get money and think I'm someone new. And trust me, I know people like that. For starters, you get people who, let's say they're born and bred Edmonton, yeah? And they will move out of the ends like quay away and they will try to act like where they've moved to is some nice, prim and proper, posh area. So for example, there'll be people from Edmonton who will move to a place called Harlow. If you go straight up like the A10 or something like that, you can get to Harlow. Edmonton people, we might have heard of Harlow, but most of us have never been there because there's nothing up there for us. Like us Northern Liners, we don't leave the ends near. So there's certain people, they'll move from Edmonton and go to somewhere like Harlow or even Stevenage, which is quite close, you know, if you're driving. And when they come back to the ends, if not talk to people in the ends, they'll be like, oh, I moved to this place called Stevenage or Harlow. Oh, it's a lovely area. My neighbours are lovely. There's no stabbings. There's no shootings. The roads don't get taped up. I don't hear police and ambulance sirens whizzing past my house every 5 minutes, because that's what it's like in Edmonton. It's a lovely area now. And they will lie and pretend that where they live in now is, get me, the dog's bollocks and that, yeah. Let me tell you something now, yeah. There's a lot of people that will move out of the ends, but they're just moving to some new working class area that ain't gangland yet. I promise you, give it 20 years, places like Stevenage and that will have their gangs and have their stabbings and their shootings, and same with Harlow and that, because it's just another bruck working class area that ain't been infected by gangs like that. Yeah, there might be one, two little boys that think they're bad, but it's not an aggressive area. And trust me, man, seen the progression of areas and that. I remember going to like Enfield back in the day, like Ordnance Road, Turkish Street, but that was a white man area. Yeah, same with like Wolverhampton Cross and that. But it's coming like the new Edmonton, blood, especially Ordnance Road and Turkish Street and that. I remember back in the day, there weren't no black people up there, but now, you get me? The thing's just filtering out and that. So there's people that will move up to these areas, Stevenage and Harlow, and act like where they live is so prim and proper and posh and that. And they're just lying to themselves. They're just deluding themselves. I will never, ever forget where I come from. Now, I remember one time I went to, someone I know, older person. I went to their yard one time, and they used to live in North London. They moved out somewhere like in Hertfordshire, innit? And I mean, by their standard, they're doing well. I don't think they're doing well, innit? By their standard, they think they're doing well. And I remember I was telling them that, I was driving this Nissan Juke. So one time someone wrote off my car and I got a Nissan Juke as a courtesy car. And I was saying to them, I wouldn't even mind getting a Nissan Juke. Like leasing one or whatever in it. And all I remember is them saying, what, a Nissan? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, what, you would drive a Nissan? Because right now they're driving a Range Rover, innit? I'm like, yeah, what's wrong with that? What they failed to realize and remember is this person was driving a Daewoo Matiz. Do you know what the fuck a Daewoo Matiz is? If you don't know what that is, it's for that fucking reason. It's some shitty little car. This person used to live in a dirty flat. The flat was so dirty. One of my people went there years ago. We're talking like 25 years ago. They went to their flat, and this person's flat was so dirty and there was so much mice running around, they were immune to it. They're going to the counter, the worktop, to serve up food or whatever, and they're brushing the mice along the plate, moving the mice out of the way. They're not even scared of the mice. Yeah, they're so used to living around mice and that. And then 25 years later, you're on an up and that. Now you got a nice car and you got a little flat or whatever. Now you think you're doing your thing. Them people there, they delude themselves. Me, I'm a man. I'll move out of Edmonton. I moved to Northampton. I'm not pretending that it's not what it is. Yeah, I'm not pretending that I'm some high class person. But at the same time, you need to understand that just because you're from the ends and you grew up in a council house and that, you can do better, blood. Yeah, you can do better. Just because man's born and grown in a council house, that don't mean that doesn't define me. So, man. Man grew up in a council house and that was man's beginning, but that will not be man's end. That will not be man's final destination, man. So I will never be one of those people who move out of the ends and look down and say, I'll look down on the people in the ends, thinking like, why are you still here? Like living here kind of thing. Because it's not the place to raise your children and that. But other than that, I'll never forget where I come from. I'm not going to be one of these people, get money and that. But I could become a fucking millionaire. When I do become a millionaire, blood, I'm still going to be that guy from Edmonton. I don't give a fuck, blood. So, answering this rhetorical question, I did grow up in a council house and that. I'm not ashamed of growing up in a council house. What I'm saying is, like, I'm going to make sure my children don't have to grow up in a council. I'm going to put myself in a position where I've already done it already, where I've got stability in that. Someone come underneath the comment section talking about it's for stability and that. Blood, there's nothing more. We talking about stability and that. Having your own property is real stability, not no damn council house, blood.